Greetings, this is David Beairsto of Network Fisher. A colleague of mine once told me, when you go ahead and figure something out or learn something new, go ahead and make a video about it, because there are other people who always want to learn what you want to learn. This video is all about using My Banner Maker for free gifts on your blog. The objective here is to create an icon for downloading free ebooks. The steps that we're going to take, we're going to upload your ebook first to your blog. We're going to copy the URL to Notepad so that you have that to use later on when you go ahead and create the banner. And then the final step, we're going to go ahead and embed the banner code into your blog and see how that turns out. This screen we have up here is showing you essentially what I did was I went ahead and completed the project. I had 4 ebooks that I'm giving away. I wanted to put them into my blog. I didn't want to push too much off of the front page above the fold, as it were. I wanted to make sure as much of what I wanted people to see on the face of my blog would be visible. These are the icons that I added, and now if you scroll over them, you'll see on the bottom of the screen it'll tell you exactly where these individual ebooks reside in the database on my blog. But if you go ahead and click on them, it'll automatically open the books, take you to that page, and you'll be able to read the ebooks. Alright, looking at step 1, the first thing you're going to have to do is locate the ebook or the gift, whatever it is that you want to make available for someone to click an icon on your blog and go ahead and download it. So the first place you're going to go is to Media on your dashboard, and then you're going to add new. And when the add new media page comes up, you're going to click on the browse button, and it's going to look for a file on your computer. You're going to go to that particular file. In this case, I've chosen Acre of Diamonds. And we're going to go ahead and I'm going to open that up and then choose to upload it. Then when it's finished uploading into the media, you can go into the library and you can see where these individual files are. The next thing you're going to do is scroll down below the file and you'll see the edit button will appear. You're going to click on the edit button, and what that does is it brings up the file and gives you the file URL where that's located. You're going to highlight that file URL and you're going to copy it. You can either use Control-C or you can right-click and copy that URL. Then you're going to open Notepad and you're going to start pasting these URLs in because we want to make sure they're handy, they're available for you to use. The next step, we're going to go to mybannermaker.com. You're going to open up mybannermaker.com, and I suggest getting the premium or pro account. I forget what it's called. It doesn't cost very much money. It's a yearly cost, and in this industry, you're going to want to make banners, and a lot of them. In this case, I actually, if you look below, there are a number of pre-made banners with width and depth that you can choose, but because of where I wanted to place my banner, I went with a custom height and depth. And again, I just guessed at what I was going to use for a height and depth. As you can see, the text when I finished making my banner came out a little bit small, and I was left with quite a bit of space in between the columns. I actually chose for 5 columns in the widget area below my header, and I had space to play with, so I could have made those banners, the size of the banner, a little bit bigger. I may go back in and I may change that down the road. You're going to need some type of image. I went with the arrow. It's nice, it's red, it was easy. It was one of the first ones I looked at that I already had saved. And you're going to go browse and find that background that you're going to use. The other thing I did was I changed the top and bottom colors to white because I just wanted the red arrow and the black text. I think the only thing I'll do in the near future is possibly change the size of the banner because I like the way it's easy to see the arrow and it's easy to read the title of the book. I may even have a chance to, the opportunity to make the text read Acres of Diamonds ebook or free ebook because I've actually made the size of that bigger. The next thing I would do is go in, and these things are laid out in order on Banner Maker. Go from size, background to text. Within the text, because I have a white background, I had to change the color of the text to black. And then I chose, I believe it's Georgia for the font, and went with an 8-point so that it fit here. Again, if my area size is bigger, I can use a bigger font, which makes it easier for people to read. The only other thing that I had to do was adjust the horizontal and the vertical position so that the text in the banner was easier to read. And you can always see what you're doing in the window at the top. Finally, we get to where we're going to go with the border. You can change either the width or the color. Before I started, there was no border, so it doesn't make the banner jump out. You can change the color of the border if you want to make it more dynamic, and you can add effects. You can have this thing flashing on your blog if you have that type of blog where you like flashing text. I don't recommend it, but that's a matter of personal taste, and it also depends upon the audience that you're trying to reach. If you're trying to sell something flashy, if you've got, something really interesting that appeals to a generation that needs to see that flashing in their face, then you may have reason for that. There are other effects to choose from. But we're going to jump right in, and we're going to go to save. And when the save window comes up, this is where you're going to see the area, the link. This is where you want the banner to link to. So this is where we're going to paste that URL that we copied before onto the notepad. We're going to copy it in there. We're going to leave it as a normal banner and go ahead and save it. And this is the banner code that's going to come up. And we're going to go ahead and copy this banner code because now we have to paste that banner code into a text box widget inside of our blog. I just want to point out here that when you're all done with this banner code, and you can do the same thing with the banner code, you can go ahead and copy that banner code into a notepad file, highlight it, save it, separate it from the other banner codes. The title is included in the banner code, so it's not that hard to identify what it is. When you're all finished with it, you would click that little, just click here to go back, and you can go back. The only things you're going to need to change is the text, because you're going to be dealing with a different title. And of course, the link is going to change once more. In this case, I didn't change or come up with a different image. It's still Acres of Diamonds, but you get the picture. So you're going to have to change the text and where it's linking to. And then, of course, you're going to go back and you're going to save that again. And just keep repeating that process. That's how I managed to get 4 different ebooks up there. I just went back and forth and changed the text and the URL that it was pointing to. Finally, we come to our last step where we're going to go ahead and drag a text widget within the widget area. And I chose the widget area below the header. This is where I wanted to put the free gifts. And you're going to paste that banner code into the text widget and save it below. And it's going to put those icons directly in the widget area. Now, I deliberately left the text, or the title, I should say, blank, because when I put the title in there, and I tried this, it ended up moving everything down, and that didn't sit well with me. You can always go ahead and resize and repeat this process as often as you need to. But essentially, when you're all done, you've got the icons there and everything looks good. I hope this helps, and